Yes, sir. Appreciate everybody for coming through. You know, Hip Hop Hoops, IG Live Edition. We got that boy DerMarr, man, coming in, man. DJ. It's about to be legendary. You don't want to miss this, man. You do not want to miss this. We got DerMarr Johnson coming through to rock with us, man. This is for the city, man. The city wanted this one, so we got it. You know, I just spoke to him a few minutes ago, so he gonna tap in with us real quick. Yes, sir. There you go. Oh yeah, he definitely could hoop.
Yeah, yeah.
DJ, what's up, man?
Good, bro.
I'm good, man. Listen, brother, I appreciate you, man, taking the time out to sit down here with us, brother. That's like love, man. I appreciate it, man. You know what I
Um,
mean? This is legendary, man, because the city to Toronto, I don't know if you know, man, but you got a lot of love out here, man. A lot of people remember you from your MCI days, bro.
yeah, I remember that team, man.
Yeah, yeah. Was Karan Butler on your team at that time?
It was.
Okay, okay. All right. You guys are stacked then, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. We gonna get right into it, brother. We all want to know, man. Like, who were some of the players that you grew up looking up to, man? Like, was there any local guys, or was it just straight NBA guys?
It was mostly local guys. I mean, I looked up to Mike. I mean, once I got a chance to see all the Michael Jordan DVDs and all that, I was on for that. It was just regular guys from my neighborhood. Like, I mean, I don't know if you know a lot of DC guys, Kurt
Yeah,
Swift,
yeah.
Nord, Bones. It's just a lot of those kind of guys, and even guys around my neighborhood. I thought they were awesome, but they didn't even wasn't even good enough to go to college and play. But when I was young, what they were doing in my neighborhood, stuff I haven't seen yet.
The crazy thing is when we played against you guys a few times, DC Assault up at ACC camp up in
Mm,
Jersey. I don't know if you remember that camp. Uh,
remember?
I remember you guys were loaded, man. You guys had Bernard Robinson on your team. I think his name was Angel, light skinned kid,
Vera,
and Rodney White, I believe. Um, what's the other dude? I think he went to UNC Charlotte, man. Dude from UNC Charlotte.
Rodney went to UNC Charlotte. You mean somebody else went to UNC Charlotte?
Okay, then it was Rodney. Then it was Rodney. It was Rodney. Yeah, 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 he did go UNC Charlotte.
Monte Hill. When I was a sophomore, he was a senior, and he went to
Hmm.
UNC. And he was the man when I first got to that team. When I was a sophomore, he was a senior. But you couldn't.
Okay. The sound is a little bit off. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi.
I don't know. I hear you fine. Everything you say, I hear.
Oh no, kind of chipping on a little bit on my end. So who was like a player that you pattern your game after? Because at that time when we first seen you, 6'9", 6'10", wing, that wasn't it right there. That was like unicorn type stuff, man. So
Nobody ever really patted my game after. It was just certain, where we from in the DC area. If you know how to cross somebody up, that was like you were popular in our city. So that was big, knowing how to like handle the ball and cross dudes. So at a young age, I was just trying to cross guys up. I always played with grown men, playing like wasn't playing rec ball or pop Warner ball growing up. I always just played outside. So I didn't really play on a real
yeah,
team until my eighth grade year. Then I just ended up growing fast and able to handle the ball. The shooting
right.
stuff came natural, but I always worked on dribbling moves, trying to get guys out of my way.
You know what's crazy, right? I didn't know that you were that good of a shooter till you got to Cincinnati. That's when I knew, like, damn, this nigga could shoot too. I knew you always had the hand and you can go to the cup, but I never knew you could shoot like that till you got to Cincinnati, right? Because
No,
they use you and you'd come off like down screens and then you'd just face up and you would shoot and I'm like, when
yeah,
this dude get this?
yeah. When you seen me like in high school, especially ACC, that's outside court. So it
Yeah,
won't gonna be a jump shooting out there.
right,
But
right,
I was playing with good point guards. I had McDonald's All American point guard,
right.
Steve Logan, who was a player of the year at Cincinnati. So I wasn't handling the ball as much as I used to. I used to bring the ball up, create. But then when I started playing with these other point guards, I was spacing out and shooting the ball more. But
That
I
was
was always
crazy.
deep threes, even when I was young.
Okay, that's crazy. So DC Assault, man. How was that experience, man? You know, playing for Curtis Malone, legendary Curtis Malone. Tell us about that whole experience, man. I know because we matched up a bunch of times. We never ever beat you guys, but it was a good experience just to see you guys and all the pros that you guys had on your team, man.
It was crazy because all that stuff was new to me.
Hmm.
Like I said, I didn't grow up playing AAU and all that. Once I met Curtis, stuff just blew up. So I didn't even know about guys going to all these tournaments and playing against all these other guys. I didn't know that you rank guys were ranked at their age and their grade and all that. All this. So once I got on that team, we got to traveling and I'm getting free tennis shoes was cool enough for me. The world and we represent our city and we win in these tournaments, stuff just started happening for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Even our whole city was like it brought a lot of attention to us.
Did everything happen fast for you? The way you just blew up, man?
Happened fast. I played in one tournament. I got like I don't know if I got MVP yet, but I played like one game and I might have been doing some dunks and some threes, and somebody was interviewing me, asked me about coming out of high school to the NBA. I'm like, I didn't know what that meant. Like a month ago, just playing basketball on the outside court. I didn't even know nothing about this life.
That's crazy. So where was it like was it Curtis Miller who like, I don't want to say found you, but like discovered, how did that relationship happen with you and Curtis Malone connecting?
Right. So I was in one of the neighborhoods I grew up in called Watts, and I was just outside on the court a regular day, and then one of the legends around there, he just was like, "Yeah, I want you to talk to my man." So I went up to Curtis' car, never seen him, heard of him a day in my life. And he was like, "Oh, they say you can play. I want you to, come to the gym and, try to put you on my team and, and see what you can do." So then I went to the gym and he had me up doing some crossovers and taking off dunking. And when he seen me, it was kind of like I seen the people around. It was like, "Oh shit, what is this?" And me off. He had me come to the gym. He'll be bringing guys in there. He'd be like, "Hey DJ, yo, do that. What you was doing yesterday?" And I just was like showing off for these people. And then once we got to these tournaments, I was just playing. I wasn't. It wasn't like no structure. I went from playing in the streets to playing AAU. It was just fun to play basketball. He bought me some Jordans one time and some Timberlands. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is my man."
Hmm, crazy. Remember ABC camp, man.
So again, you broke up on something. What you say?
I said ABCD camp. I ABCD at that time. Whitewood was there for the top of the camp. Um, I had Nelson team. I know my experience at ABC camp was probably the biggest stage I really played on as far as AU wise. I ain't gonna lie, my first gym and the coach stand. I was a serious man. Tell me your experience at ABCD camp, man.
So okay, my first year ABCD.
How much times did you
It
go?
was
You went twice?
I went two or three times. Could I might have been three times. I don't, the first year was my sophomore year, and I was the underclassman of the camp, even though I was a sophomore and not a
Right.
junior. And that year Tracy McGrady blew up, and
Mm-hmm.
he was at camp. So that same time where Tracy kind of blew onto the scene because Lamar Odom was the man going into that camp. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember he already played against Lamar in the tournament, and the guys were telling me they was like, this guy right here, he's the #1 player, he's the guy. And when we played against them, I remember Lamar saying, "Yo, watch crossover, this guy right here." So we went into camp. I'm already expecting Lamar to be the guy. Um, Tracy just kind of came out of nowhere, and then me, I'm out there just playing my game. I'm crossing over, and I think my first play at camp, somebody tipped the ball to me, and I just jumped over a dude and dunked it. And I just was out there just doing my thing, and people started to, I mean, the people who didn't see me play in them tournaments that I played with before, I really jumped onto the scene after the ABCD camp. Sonny was like, you know, this my next guy after Tracy.
Mm. It's so crazy that, we're all kids and we don't know like how big this business is.
Right.
We just want to hoop and get free gear and sneakers, right? But we don't know the back end of everything. Like, guys are getting millions of dollars, you know what I mean, after this is all said and done. You know what I mean? Was Adidas the thing that sponsored you after the company when you got into the league?
No, but it was supposed to be because after the ABCD camp and Sonny, I told you I was Sonny's guy. Like it was all Adidas at that point.
Right.
Like junior year, where we was and1, and we had a nice and1 contract in Newport, and I wore Adidas, and because a part of them getting the and1 deal was them having me, but I'm wearing Adidas every game because I'm like I'm Sonny's guy. I'm not doing that. So it was signed this big Adidas deal once I got to the league.
Right.
Got to the league, it was like a 2 years with shoe deals. Just it wasn't happening. Like I don't know what made it go down. Like the year before me, it was like Elvin Brand and Steve Francis and them guys, like 1 and 2. They wasn't getting no shoe deals. Our year, nobody really got like not big shoe deals. I signed with Nike. Kenyon, I think, ended up going with Reebok. He was the #1 pick that year, but they wasn't just giving millions like there was until LeBron came back.
Facts. Brian opened up the floodgates, man, huh?
Yeah, because Tracy, I got that with Adidas. And Tracy ended up not really playing until it was like his third, fourth year like that. They was kind of bringing him along slowly. How they was
Mm.
trying. So I don't know if Adidas was like, damn, we giving this kid all this money, he not playing. So they kind of stopped it for a few years.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So you're at Newport. Was it your senior year and then you took another year, or was it just you transferred from Newport to MCI?
Junior, sophomore, junior, Newport, and then my senior year, they Curtis just really wanted to get me away from the city. That last summer, it was just a lot going on. I was had some injuries. He thought people was kind of I was getting technical fouls, going crazy on dudes, and people. They was like, "Man, we don't need no distractions. We want to send you to Maine." And I'm like, "Nah, I can't do that." And then he put Sonny on the phone, and Sonny was like, "DerMarr, listen, this is just gonna be your year of college right here. You go over here, guy, and then we'll just come out next year." And I was just like, "Cool." And then they told me like some NBA guys that already went through MCI. So I
Mm.
mean, I'm glad that coach up there, Max Good, man. Love him forever. He really helped prepare me for what was going to be ahead.
Is MCI still around, man? I haven't heard from them in a minute.
I don't think so. Anyway, I know Coach Good left after I left. He left because he was
Okay.
at UCLA. I mean UNLV. He was assistant when we played against them. I know
Okay.
Karan did after me. Then I don't know. I don't think it's still around though. Not
Yeah,
basketball program anyway.
I never heard of them ever since, man. But it's crazy, man. I remember when we got done playing you guys, man, at ACC camp, and we came back to Toronto, and you were just the talk of the town, man. Like before you actually even came to Toronto and played at MCI, we were already talking about you. Like, oh, this kid, man, I never seen nothing like it. He's tall as hell, and this nigga got handles. We just don't understand. This is not what we're used to. Because in Canada, from you're like 6'4", 6'5", you're automatic center. They're putting you in the post, and you're just the automatic big man. So we never seen a guy as tall as you handling the ball. So it was all new to us. So we're talking about you, and then I'm telling these guys like, yo, they talking about this dude might go to the NBA from the 11th grade. How real was that, man? How real was that conversation? Was it a real thing, or was it barbershop talk, man?
A little bit of both. It wasn't nothing that we ever said we were going to do on our side. It was something that people put in the air because they has considered me. Some had considered me the top player in the country as a junior.
Right.
So, they had seniors coming out of high school. That year it was Rashard Lewis and Al Harrington. They came on, and they got picked kind of late. I think I was even a second round pick.
Yeah, I
So they
think I'm
like,
pretty sure Rashard Lewis was second round, and then Al Harrington was, I think, late first round. Hmm.
so
Right.
they were saying if I here I would have, could have been a lottery pick, or whatever. But we was just like, I thought it was funny for real. I really had the conversation was real, but I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. But
So
we
it
was,
was it was it was never a thought ever.
I mean, when they said it, it was kind of funny. But I was like, nah, at least gotta finish high school if I don't plan on going to college.
Right. So was it the plan to leave after high school and go and enter the draft?
Yeah, that was the plan.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
what happened was when we at the McDonald's game, Jonathan Bender had like 30, 31, and he broke like a Jordan scoring record. He just took a lot of momentum with him. So
Yeah.
probably could have still came out, still would have probably got drafted, but Sonny and them, they just thought that I I wouldn't have I wouldn't have got drafted maybe as high as I deserved to get drafted because he just took a lot of momentum with him. So
Yeah.
I just do a year of school, go somewhere and work on your body, get a little stronger, and then you'll be in there.
Right. Take us through that whole McDonald's All American, man, because there's a lot of guys, man, that, like you said, like two guys. Jonathan Bender went to straight to the league as well. So there's like three guys that went straight to the league from that McDonald's game, I believe.
Oh, no, ain't what? Oh, no, two. Jonathan only do that. I think Leon Smith might have went, but
I don't think he got picked up, or maybe he got picked up second round. I think, but maybe by Detroit. I want to say.
yeah, I don't think he drafted though. But
Yeah.
Jonathan was on went and got drafted our year.
Oh, Al Harrington was the year before. The
That
year
was the year before.
before. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So Jonathan was our
Yeah, and he was from like Mississippi, I want to say, or something.
he from Louisiana.
Louisiana. He didn't really pan out to be a great NBA player. I think his body, you know what I mean. But I still
Yeah.
who all came out of that class?
Um. Well, before I even talk about who came out of the McDonald's game, the two dudes who had the best careers from our class didn't even make McDonald's. Joe Johnson and Jamal Crawford.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they didn't even make McDonald's. They played this jersey that's a Magic Round Ball. They played in that, but they ain't even make McDonald's. Them dudes had the best career, but it was like Jay Williams, Donnell Harvey. He was the one that done. He got drafted first round.
Yeah,
Kenny Bill, Brett Nelson, Dunleavy, Boozer.
that's a lot, man.
It was
That's
it was more
that's that's the damn near the whole game. The whole game.
right.
Guys went. Oh, that is wild. Did you still feel that you were the best player in the whole class?
Yeah, I
Mm.
did.
'Cause I
Um,
watched the game. I can't remember exactly, but I just said he didn't play as great as I know he can. You know what I mean? I was like,
it's
that's
hard.
what I was saying to myself.
I mean, I had 19, but
Yeah,
I mean, playing in games like that where I'm not even a lot of the summer league games when I go out there and dudes be having so much to prove and I'm just not like that. Like I'm gonna be chilling until somebody make me really go like you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
That's crazy. So now you done the McDonald's All American. Did you pick your college late, or was it around that time when you chose?
it was late. It was late. I was undecided. It was only a few people maybe that game that was undecided. So like
Yeah.
guys were talking to me like, man, you should come here and come here. field was on me 'cause we had like 4 guys going to Duke, and I think me and Darnell might have been the only dudes that was undecided at that point. And
Mm.
it just made a lot of sense.
Because Kenyon was still there, right? Kenyon was still there. Then you and Satterfield just jump right in there. You guys had a mob. You guys had a
Oh, and
mob.
Michael, who people don't talk about enough, he was like the man on that team the year before.
Mm.
Kenyon was
Right.
a defender, but P. Michael was like a JUCO player of the year.
Yeah, he
Then
was
went to
tough.
Cincinnati. Yeah, he was tough,
Yeah,
and
I
he
think he's like a lefty. I want to say if I'm not mistaken. I think he's a lefty. He was tough.
he, he
Yeah.
was he was drafted our year. He was the last pick of the draft to New York. Ended up
Mm.
having a crazy overseas career. He was in Barcelona a lot of years, making a whole lot of money. But he
Yeah.
was a lot of people don't talk about him. He was really good.
Mm. How was Huggins as a coach, man? Was because if you're going there, you know like this is the year one and done. He knows that. How was it playing for him, man?
Hugs is so Hugs is crazy. Like if I came right from, and it would have been more difficult for me because my coach in Newport let me do whatever I want to do. He wasn't like a rah rah guy. He just had good players and he coached and just let you do your thing. But MCI Max Good was is as crazy or more crazy than Hugs. So me
Mm.
going being away from home, getting cussed at all the time every day, that prepared me for with
Yeah.
Hugs. It was just like, all right, whatever. But like, they cussing back at him, they getting into all these fights, and I was just too cool for that. First of all, I just went through it last year, and I
Yeah.
know I'm going to the NBA, so ain't really nothing you can say. And we winning so much, it wasn't that bad because we was winning a lot.
Yeah.
But he liked to push you, and
Hmm.
I was okay with that because that's why I went there.
Yeah. So how was your process of choosing schools? Which was the final? Did you have a final three, four? How
So
was the process?
well, it was late, so by that time, I mean, most schools stopped recruiting me anyway. They was like, "There's no chance I'm going to college." So a lot of schools they gave up on trying to recruit me. So
Mhm.
at okay, he's thinking about coming to school. So it was Maryland, UConn, and Cincinnati.
Right.
And it's funny, we always talk about where we from, about University of Maryland, where all the kids from PG County and the DC area who never go to University of Maryland, who's a great campus, ACC, like, because Gary Williams
That
didn't
is
talk.
that is weird.
Yeah, all the time that school could have had, but Coach Williams didn't really want one and done guys. He didn't want to deal with Kurtz. He didn't want to deal with it.
Uh,
He wanted his seniors. He wanted to do it how he wanted it, his way, basically. So a lot of
mm.
the city didn't end up going there.
Okay,
Um,
that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. All right.
and,
Cause
um,
that's weird. Cause I'm like Maryland is right there in y'all backyard and so much talent, but they never get any one of you. They was getting some Baltimore guys, with what's his name? The little guard, I forget his name.
on
Dixon.
Dixon,
Dixon. Yeah. Yeah, that's wild now that I think about it. Okay.
a lot of the people in the city always talk about that, and it's unfortunate because it's just so many more NBA jerseys to be up in that arena
Yeah.
if you just wanted to get the guys in the city.
Yeah, he's recruiting a lot of four-star guys, man. A lot of the
Yeah,
guys, and then they just end up becoming good players. Or I remember who was the kid, Wilcox. I believe he was like a four-star guy, and then he just had a great freshman year, and then that's how you enter the draft, right? That's wild, man. Mm,
then they're gonna pick you.
right.
They still was
So,
on the end of my list, and they was shitty at recruiting me. Like when I went there to talk to them, they made it seem like, man, you should be honored that we want you here. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, everybody else seemed like they want to do anything they can to get close to me, and I'm right
right.
here, and y'all back, and y'all treat me like this. I'm like, shit. Then they try to lie to me, Steve Francis. Steve was like, man, come on, man, you gonna win it next year. I said, Steve, I know damn well you're not staying in school. you about to be a top 2 pick. Ain't no way.
Yeah. Wow. So Stevie tried to pull an okey doke, man.
He just was doing what they probably told him to do. Yeah, he know I
Yeah.
know.
Wow. Someone wants to ask a question. How was it playing? How was it playing with Kenyon Martin in college, man? He was a player of the year in college. He
It
he
was
ended
good.
up did he end up breaking his foot? He ended up breaking his foot, right? And still end up going number one. How
Still,
how was how was it playing with Kenyon, man?
it was great playing with Kenyon. But the crazy thing is, even when I went there, I thought I was gonna have to do more scoring because Kenyon wasn't a scorer like that the year
Mm,
before. But when he came back, he just was getting so much better every game. Like every game, every day, he just getting better and better, and nobody could stop him. So we end up just going through him so much that year. I didn't have to really do much, but now my average, I was like low under 13 points. I'm just dunking and hitting threes, and just playing my role while we went through Kenya because I mean he worked his ass off to get to that point. He wasn't a McDonald's type player,
no,
and
no.
he was tough, and
Tough as hell.
everybody was scared of us mainly because of him, because how tough he was, and that just rubbed off on everybody. I mean, even
Mm,
Cincinnati, they known for being tough and strong dudes. That's what played a part in me going there too.
yeah,
But it was great playing with Kenya, man. One of my best friends to this day.
that's crazy. And then 2000 draft, he ends up going number one. You end up going number six. Take us through that whole thing, man. That like you finally did it. Something that you were probably dreaming about from you were a kid, man, and you're there. Two
It was.
thousand 2000 draft.
But the thing is, I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't dream about stuff like that. I didn't even look at that as being realistic. The
Mm,
NBA, that was shit that was on TV. That wasn't something like I didn't see guys that was in the NBA where I'm from. I didn't see guys even really that would play high level D1, so it wasn't really
right.
real. Now in our
Hmm.
area, you go, you're gonna see a pro. You're gonna see a high D1 do it. Like
Yeah.
they didn't want, it didn't come real until I met Curtis, until I started, going to ABCD camp and all that. So when I
Hmm.
got drafted, like finally here. We've been knowing this moment was going to happen for the last like 3-4 years, and now it's finally here, and I can start my career. But for Kenyon, who my guy, who was pick one, who had to work, and I worked my ass off too. But him coming from not being a top player, him being a senior, and seeing him get picked number one and everybody else was like underclassmen except like two dudes that they got
Mm.
picked early in that draft. Say a senior, and he was crying his eyes off. The toughest dude I know up there crying. I'm like, man, I know that meant him. For me, it's just like, man, y'all knew I was gonna be here.
Mm. Did you ever feel pressure, like knowing like this is what they've been talking about for 3 years? Did you ever feel pressure like, damn, I gotta get 30 today. I gotta perform. Have you ever felt that?
Nah, because I never really was that type of player. I had games where I really was scoring a lot of points, but I never was like, well, my AAU team, I got Keith Bogans and I got Val Brown. I got a good team where these dudes probably take more shots than me. Well, what
Yeah.
happens? All my points just look good because the way I play, I'm a tall guard that you don't see. I'm shooting, I'm dunking on guys, I'm crossing guys over, throwing behind the back. I'm doing like I'm passing. I'm just kind of doing everything. It wasn't like Keith was a scorer. He just going out and
Mm.
getting you buckets. I was a dude just go out and get you buckets. I kind of scored. It was easy, but I did a little bit of everything. So I never really had the
Mm.
pressure of having to do that because and going to Cincinnati with Kenyon did most of the scoring, and I'm
Right.
averaging 13. Like that was the least I've ever averaged since my freshman year in high school. But I didn't feel bad about it because we were so good. We were winning.
Yeah. You guys are winning. At that time, Cincinnati was like the
Hmm.
place, man, for real. So your rookie year, man, you know, you're pick number six. You come in there to Atlanta Hawks. Take us through that whole rookie year, man. What was the highlight of your rookie year?
The highlight, I mean, probably
Mm.
just a few dunks I had on dudes because that year was up and down. They had the whole plan We had a rookie coach that came from college. Didn't really like playing young guys in college, and their whole plan for me was kind of like the Kobe, the Tracy McGrady plan, where them dudes they can come out just starting right away. They had to wait their turn and sit behind guys. And I didn't like that myself because it wasn't like I was sitting behind like Tracy. At least he had Vince. I wasn't sitting behind all stars and all that. So I start a game, then I won't play 5 games, and I wasn't used to that because especially in practice I'm killing. Like the guys know how talented I am, and every time I get in a game for a few minutes, I'm doing something. I'm on
Mm,
Sports Center on the top 10 plays every other week, but I'm not even playing that much. I didn't make the rookie
right.
game or none of that, so I was kind of pissed. I was pissed. I couldn't wait for that rookie year to be over.
Mm. So your sophomore, end up getting more minutes with the same coach and everything.
So sophomore year. So what happened that summer was, coach was like, I want you to after the first year, right? Coach was like, hey, I want you to be here this summer and we gonna work and this and that. I'm like, all right, cool. But I wasn't really trying to hear. I was like, F him for real. So I went my agent, like in LA, it was all the pros, all the all stars. It was good. My workout situation, I'm working twice a day and I'm playing with all the best players in the league in LA. I just went to LA. I ain't staying in Atlanta. So my
Mm,
coach was my coach was a little pissed off at that. So my second year, I set early. I ain't played that much at all early, and
for real.
then he was pissed at me. Then the
Mm,
second half of my second year, that's where it took off. I started every game. I was averaging over double digits. We were winning games. We still didn't make the
mm,
playoffs, but that second half had a really good second half. And so me and coach got close. I knew I was going to be just started going into my third year because I ended on a good note. And I stayed in Atlanta all summer, work with coach. And the year three was supposed to be the year. And
mm.
then my accident happened before training camp.
Right. I'll go back real quick. Your second year, was that the year that you matched up against Jordan? Was your rookie year?
Second year, I think it's my second year.
Second year. How was that? How was playing against Mike, man?
Um, kind of surreal, man. I didn't because Mike was retired, and I mean I watched him retire in high school, and I'm like, man, my idol. And I'm in the league, and it's like, dang, he's back. And I mean, at 40, he still had 28 on us. And I remember, um, I know some dialogue I had with him because the first time I played, he didn't play.
Right.
He had set that game. So I remember I tried to crossover on him. He fouled me, but they didn't call it nothing. He was like, I'm not Rip Hamilton. 'Cause I think he seen me do a crossover with Rip Hamilton the other game that I didn't play. The other game, he didn't. They threw the ball to Sharif, another play. They threw the ball to Sharif Abdul Rahim in the post. He leaves me to go like help with Sharif. Sharif passed me hit a three. And I was like, bro, don't help off on me. That's what I do. He said, okay, I'm about to show you what I do. He go down, take me in the post, and just back in and he called it. He said, I'm taller than him, but I still couldn't stop him from doing it.
You know what's crazy, man, is I always try to tell people about like MJ Washington Wizard days. Like I know they weren't winning and he wasn't the MJ that we're used to, but he
Yeah,
was still getting buckets, man.
sure. But like I say, he had 28 on us.
Yeah,
He,
like
I say like he got some like top highlights. I don't know if they just Wizards highlights, but he on there blocking my shot. I blocked this shot, blocked this fadeaway. But I
yeah,
tried to shoot up, man. He came out of nowhere and beat that shit at
that's
40. Like,
wild. That's crazy. I always try to tell people about that, the Wizard. And I think the last year with I think he might have played like all 82 games if I'm not mistaken. I think out of the 2 years that he might have played all 82. That's wild, man. So year three, man, you get into this accident, this car accident, man. That was crazy. We all seen it over here, man, and it looked bad because you had the brace on. Take us through that, man. What is your mindset? Like, how are you feeling at that time?
my mindset is I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna come back and play. My people wanted me to talk about you want to take this insurance money and just retire. I'm like, hell no. I'm gonna come back and play in no time. But the thing is, everybody else wasn't thinking like that.
Mm,
Teams, we gotta stay away from this kid because I'm working my ass off. And I was actually got cleared to play later that year. I got cleared to do all physical stuff, but the
okay.
Hawks wasn't putting forward. I'm begging them, man, let me practice, let me practice. They let me practice like twice at the end of the season. Have a
Hmm.
great practice, still didn't put me on the floor. Like before the games, I'm out there working out without training in full sweat. I'm dribbling, dunking all hard, going all crazy. People can see this before the game.
Hmm.
I'm looking killer out there, but the team wasn't gonna put me out there.
Mm. So did they end up cutting you? Like what was the next thing?
So what happened was the fourth year was their option,
Hmm.
and they just didn't pick my option up. Like my GM that drafted me said, if you come back healthy, then I'm picking up your option. He gets fired. So the new GM comes in. It was like, we're not going to pick up your option. You can't. Not going to take a chance on a kid with four fractured bones in his neck.
Mm. And then so did you? I know you played for Denver. You played with the Knicks. Was Denver the next spot? I believe Denver was the next spot, right?
That was a few things happened before that. I mean, after that third year, I played with like Memphis in summer league. I I went to camp with Phoenix, and then I played in the ABA for a minute
Hmm.
on a back team. Our coach Paul Westhead got called up before we did. Matt Barnes was on his team. Dennis Rodman, Jeremy Pargo. We had
Wow.
a lot of pros on that. Then
Mm.
Matt called up to the Clippers, and then I got called up to the Knicks like a week later. So I spent the second half of that fourth year with the Knicks, and helped them win a few games, get the eighth spot. That's when Stephon Marbury, Penny Hardaway, and them all them just got traded to New York,
Right.
and I was in camp with them in Phoenix because they was in Phoenix, and then I got to New York right after they did, and we ended up winning some games, getting the eighth spot, and lost to the Nets in the first round of the playoffs that year.
Mm. So
Long day.
how are you feeling though as far as your body? Like, you just had this major accident. Are you feeling like restricted? Is your game not feeling the same? How are you feeling?
Nah, I feel great. I feel only thing I could do was like when I turn my head, I might turn my shoulders too. It's natural. I mean, I don't have full range of motion still, but I can turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that's feels funny. But what I was trying to do was play a little reckless and let them see me get knocked down. I'm like driving to the hole, like somebody knocked me to the floor so they could see me get up. That
Right.
I'm not because everything else felt fine. I ain't had no knee problems. Everything else was good. Like I'm playing well. Anytime I got minutes, I've always played well for the
Mm.
most. So like I said, I helped them win a few games in that stretch for the Knicks to get us in the playoffs.
Right, right,
And
right.
I thought I was gonna sign back with them, but the business of that league, it'd be a lot of funny stuff to be going on behind the
Uh,
scenes.
and that team was a little messed up too, man. Isaiah Thomas was running the team at the time. Yeah, he had his own little scandals and stuff going on too at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that team wasn't really. The team actually was Steve Francis on that team, or was that a year after?
Steve came probably a year or two after. On that team, it was
Mm.
Stephon, Penny, Allen Houston,
Okay.
Kim Baker, Van Baker,
Wow.
Thomas. It was
Yeah.
the team had, but the Nets they swept us.
And that's who the Nets had. Is that with Jay Kidd and them boys? Yeah.
They came with Richard Jefferson, Van Horn.
That team was tough, man. It was tough. And they played defense, man. Yeah. So you end up how much more years did you stay? How much years did you stay in the league?
Three more after that New York year, three more in Denver, and it ended up being a blessing because I thought I was gonna be back in New York. Like I
Hmm.
said, we felt good. Like because they called me up on a 10-day and they kept me because I played well. Isaiah called me all summer like, man, we gonna sign when July 1st. July 1st, you ready? You ready? They sending a trainer down there to work me and Michael Sweetney out in DC. Like, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna be back in New York. But then when they kind of, flaked on that for some reasons I can't really say they had shit to do with me.
Mm.
Kenyon ended up going over to Denver, and then my agent ended up setting me up over there with Kenyon. That ended up being a blessing because I played 3 years over there, and I mean, we were pretty good every year. And Denver is still one of my best place to play so far.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that was Young Mello,
Hmm?
Young Mello, Kenyon, Iverson was over there with you
He came last year there because
last
Andre
year.
Miller was our point guard, and
I know, yeah, yeah.
Marcus Camby, Nene Hilario.
Good squad, man. A really good squad. Damn, that's a really good squad, man. How is Iverson, man? As a person, man.
As a, he's great as a person. He's like, well, yes, as a person.
I think a lot of people got him like misunderstood and just think that he's just wild, this wild person that you know he want to do all kind of crazy stuff but the game of basketball. You know what I mean? If you,
Yeah. That's what he do the most. He I don't know how many times he probably led the league in minutes. He don't like to come out all the
yeah,
practice about he practiced every day when I was in Denver with him, and
yeah.
never nothing even talked about.
I,
When the lights on, he ready to play.
he ready to play. Yeah, I just think a lot of people always they don't want to give him a lot of the credit that he deserves, man. I think Iverson is one of the greats, man. I
Obviously,
got
his super. So when he came to the team, a lot of things changed just as far as his level of superstar is something I haven't because like he's one of my best friends too. We talk almost every other day, so I never seen a superstar like that was around so much. But we had
mm,
Melo, it was like it was LeBron and Melo. They supposed to take over the league at some point.
yeah.
So when we play an away game and they announce the starters, they announce Melo, boo. When they announce Allen, the away team cheers. I've never the away team is cheering for their opponent. When
Right.
we go like guys, everybody they got their camera phones just out coming out. Camera phones all in this dude's face. They never did that type of stuff. And Melo, I'm like Melo is like a young superstar. But when Allen came, it was just different, man. We
Yeah.
gambled, the money went up. Well, now we playing for hundreds.
Yeah. Oh man, Iverson, boy. I think pound for pound, probably the best little guard, man. In
So,
my eyes, anyways. For
so
real, you know. So
Mike Russ was out to get AI. Nah,
I,
I couldn't tell that because what's funny about me and him becoming so close is I always checked him when we played Philly.
right,
Like and I did a really good job on him.
right.
But you have to be careful because I felt like I felt like he got calls. Like I couldn't touch him. Like he gonna get his but like it was so close because he remembered like man I hated when you was guarding me.
AI, man, that's crazy. So after Denver, is this when you started playing overseas?
Yeah, so after Denver I went to another situation where they promised me a 5-year deal and my GM get fired and I don't get my deal and all that, like the bullshit that happens behind the scenes. So
Hmm.
my agent was like, yo, if you go overseas, then like how Parker played his whole career overseas and he came back and got like a 3-year deal with
Right.
Cleveland. So he's like, man, do what Anthony Parker did. Just go overseas, get a feel of being a man again. You
I
just
think I
kind of
think I think the Raptors. I think we signed him. The Raptors.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, the Raptors up in
Yeah.
Cleveland,
Yeah.
but the Raptors.
Yeah. He ended up playing. I think we ended up trading him to Cleveland. But yeah, I think we gave him his big deal. Okay. Yeah.
So that's what my agent was trying to do. He was like, get a feel for being a man again. Over here, I'm saying they jerk you on your deal, but you just stand in the corner shooting threes and get some fast break dunks and all that, but you haven't had a feel of being a man for a while. So go overseas, be the man again, come back next year, do it. So I ended up going over to
Mm-hmm.
Italy. Um, it was trash. I couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand the way they played. I couldn't stand my city. I was just too spoiled from the NBA. I said, get me out of here. So in after 2 months, ended up coming back home, going to the D League, and the Spurs had I finished the year with the Spurs.
Mm. I remember
Yeah.
I seen a magazine where you were I don't know if it was Puerto Rico or it was Dominican, and
Mhm.
it said on the magazine KD before KD.
Oh, that was my man was doing the magazine, and I don't know what country it was in, but I know what you talk about though.
Okay, so you never actually played in Dominican or
Nah, that jersey was a Puerto Rico jersey.
mm,
But I did, yeah. I played before I was came back to Cincinnati and finished school, and I was in DR like the 2 years prior.
mm.
I was just over there just cruising the rest of the years of my career out.
How was that, man? Playing over there, man.
It was fun. It was. I mean, they loved me over there. I was on the beach while guys were in the snow. Um, the basketball was. I mean, it was sweet. Food was good. Nice women. I mean, it was over there. Is if if you ain't playing well, they replace you.
Facts. Yeah,
They over there though. It's like a second home over there.
that's crazy, man. I seen it online, man, and it said KD before KD. This is a while ago when I seen the magazine cover. How do you feel when people say that? You're KD before KD, man. Because in my
I hate
eyes, that's how I see it, man. You know.
because people like you who seen me like at that time when I was, doing all the ball handling and dunking and all that stuff. Because a lot of people ain't get a chance to see that late. Because even in Cincinnati, I mean, I got some highlights where I'm doing that a little bit, but it was mostly threes and dunks. In the NBA, mostly threes and dunks, crossing guys up. But before it was like every time down the court, I'm creating,
Yeah.
but then I got to put into the I put some boxes just like a shooter. So the guys who seen that, they know they get that comparison. A lot of people say that. It's an honor, really. KD, to me, KD's the best player in the NBA.
I believe so
Um,
too.
yeah, and to be compared to him, I mean, everything I see he do is what I expected for myself, and what other people probably expected also. And I'm
Hmm.
just glad someone who I've seen grow up. KD was at my camp. He was like in seventh grade, and a guy seen grow up can be the guy that can turn into that. I'm just, I'm happy he could be one of my guys.
Facts. That's dope, man. I seen I probably watched it a few times, man. The documentary, man, that you guys have in the water. That explain because I was even a little confused. PG County and DC. What is the difference between those two?
Well, it's I guess it's just PG County is Maryland, is in Maryland, and
Mm,
DC is in DC. So, but you can literally be on one side of the street and be in PG County, and you can walk to the other side of the street and be in Maryland.
mm,
So, difference isn't a lot, but like growing up, so my dad was from DC and my mom was from Maryland. So I was in DC and Maryland. So I get
right.
both sides. But we always people most just say DC. But a lot of DC guys that they never lived in Maryland, they used to be, talking down to the Maryland guys because they weren't DC guys. But then what's happening now is PG County is just full of people that used to live in DC that just moved to PG County. So really, it's really close.
Right, right.
What happened was all the guys that's been going pro are from PG County and not DC. So
Mm,
I guess they were trying to just let everybody know that our county alone has just raised so many great basketball players to come out of there, and I guess they're trying to make it so people know who PG County is. So when people out of town, they ain't gotta say they from DC. When really they
mm,
don't, they're not from
okay.
DC.
I was always like, I didn't really understand growing up. I just said, if you from, I knew it was either DC or he was from Baltimore. Either one
That's the
produced the best player. So I was like, this is the state of Maryland, and we'd go through that, right?
problem though, and that's another reason for the doc because Baltimore is such a different world. It's so
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
When you say
absolutely.
when you say you're from Maryland and PG County, that's really DC is like the same shit. But when people say they're from Maryland, people be like, we're Baltimore. And guys and guys that's not from Baltimore don't want to be called being from Baltimore.
Yeah,
Be like they different. They dress different, they talk different. Like them all guys now used to be a beef growing up with DC Baltimore, but now with the basketball bring everybody together. Like but you can tell if you hear them talk and hear us talk, you can tell how different it is.
I know the go-go music separates y'all.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely the go-go music. I remember because I told you me and Jared Jack we went to Mount Zion together, Mount Zion Christian Academy in Durham, North Carolina, and he would always bring like the headbands, the all days. I think it's called all days. There was another one.
beyond
Um,
one,
yeah,
oneness.
yeah, 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 yeah. He used to have all these things, and we used to be in DC. Like we played against National Christian and all that stuff. And we had a dude on our team. He's from Baltimore, and him and Jared used to go back at it all the time. Which place produced the best players? What was his name? Magic Daryl Dorsey from Baltimore. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah. So he was the he was the Baltimore guy. Him and Jared every day,
crazy.
man, they'd always go at it, like, who had the best players and whatnot. You know what I mean?
That's
Obviously, he was talking about Melo a lot. That's wild. So this documentary, man, take us through it, man. How do you feel? It was done by KD, right? And
yeah.
him and Quinn Cook.
I think Quinn has something to do with it too.
Right. Tell me how do you feel, man? Because now it's like my sister seen that documentary and she was like, she knows basketball, but not anything outside the NBA. She wouldn't know nothing about, PG and anything about DC. And she's seen it and she called me right away and she's like, yo, that documentary was amazing. You know what I mean? Take us through it, man, with your involvement in it and how did you feel to be that had to have been a proud moment because that was just for you guys, right?
Yeah. So what's crazy is it was a few years ago I did my interview, and the guy just hit me up. It was like I didn't even know Katie never had anything to do with it. The guy just hit me up, said we're doing a documentary on PG County basketball, and of course, we got to talk to you. I'm like, cool. They came out of Cincinnati. It's when I first got back to Cincinnati. They came out here and they talked to me. And I did
Mm,
my interview. I thought it was just gonna be something that they was gonna put on YouTube or something like that. I didn't know it was gonna be so big and be on
yeah.
show all that. I had no idea. So
Yeah.
when I saw it, I thought it was great. I was happy that they gave me my roses. They gave Curtis, his roses. Um, but then I started to think, because I started seeing a lot of people from who played like start posting their stats and all that stuff. Like, man, I did this, I did that, and I wasn't. I'm like, damn, you all right there. I wish it could have been like different part series because even all the stuff y'all seen on there, right? There's just so many people who wasn't even mentioned. They didn't even mention guys like Devontae West,
Yeah.
and Eddie Bass, guys who went pro, and there
That's
was
who.
so
That's who I forgot. Eddie Basson. He went to Charlotte too, right? Yeah. That's who.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. He was nice. He was nice.
yeah. There's guys they didn't mention, and I know you ain't got time. You ain't got time to mention everybody. If you only gonna do it for an hour, I
Hmm.
wish they at least at the end. ran down a list of names and put like what everybody did. At least let them see their name on there, because guys who felt like they did some great things in our county, they wasn't mentioned.
But even Bernard Robinson, like
Bernard,
I was a fan of Bernard, and he played in the league. I remember he was playing in Charlotte. That's a guy that
Bernard,
they didn't mention.
Bernard, the DC
Right.
guy though.
Oh, he's a, okay,
So
okay, all
they
right, all right, all right,
other
all
thing
right.
they did, it got a lot of the DC guys. They were on Facebook pissed off like, oh, so now y'all want to talk about y'all from PG when y'all act like y'all from DC, and now y'all want to separate yourself. And I'm like, bro, this thing is good for the whole city. Like,
Yeah.
don't make this at us. You know what I'm saying? It's just all the young kids that play in the league now from PG County. They're not from DC, so you can't get mad at that.
Mm. Where's the Matha located? Is that's in DC, right?
County,
That's in DC. Okay.
not
So I know.
the Maryland, PG.
Oh, so okay, okay. And I know Cook and Oladipo, they was over there on the same squad together.
The Graham brothers went there.
Mm. I remember I was watching Quinn Cook, man. He was on live, and it was they were joking around and they were having fun with it. And they was talking about the best the best high school players, and I guess they was trying to like see who was the best to come out of PG County. And I know they wanted you to talk your stuff, but you was all calm with it. I was in the comments like, yo, he's the best player I ever seen come out of high school. Like, I don't know, like I seen a lot of guys, man. And from Corey Hightower, you know what I mean, Al
Oh,
Harrington. I
love
see.
Corey.
You remember Corey Hightower, the lefty?
Sure.
Yeah,
I-
he was tough. He was
He
tough,
was tough.
and Rasul Butler, rest in peace to him. That was my man, and it was like I never seen like you was always at the top of the list. Like, I teach kids now, and we train kids, and I work in a high school. And when we get into basketball stories, it's like they would always ask me like, who was the best player you ever played against? And your name always comes up to the time. Like it's always at the top. Like when we was at Mount Zion, Jared was a hell of a player, man. He was nice. Jared was really nice. At the time, Amari Stoudemire was over there as well with us. Terry Licorice, like we had a really good squad over there. But when we talk about, at the top, your name is always mentioned. And I know it was in that conversation the same way. Like Quinn Cook, like you were at the top, and then they're trying to like mention a whole bunch of other guys. How does that feel, man? Especially from guys
Nah,
that's in the league currently, you know what I mean? And they still giving you your roses.
all right, I appreciate that. I appreciate that from you, man. Everything that you've said. And it do feel great to hear all them guys say that, because I was getting that a lot too when Quinn was on his live for a while, and even like a lot of my guys, um, young guys, and that was around that see me at that time. They always say that I'm the best high school player that they've seen. Um, Even after that documentary came out, Al Harrington had posted, "If I don't get in my accident, I'm a 10-time All Star," and just little stuff like
Facts.
that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate guys, appreciating it, because I don't care about attention and all that stuff. Like Quentin will be wanting me to get on there and talk crazy, but
Yeah. Yeah,
only
yeah.
said something because this one dude in DC got on with Quinn, and he named the top 25 from PG, and I wasn't on there. Then I had to go on there and be like, all right,
Oh.
enough is enough. Like
Okay.
I gotta talk.
That's how it came about. Okay, okay.
So that's when
That's
you see
wild.
me. And Quinn was like, yeah, talk your shit. And I was like, man. I ended up texting me the next day, and I went on this show, and he said some people put him in his place, and he apologized, and he put me up in this top list. But you know what I'm saying?
Where did he end up? Where did he end up putting you after?
He
Or like
didn't
what
say.
number?
He said, when we talked, he said before I did his show, he said, man, I got DerMarr here. I said some things I was wrong.
It's about to cut off real quick. I'm gonna log back in. I got a couple more questions, and then we're gonna get out of here.